So welcome everybody, my name is Rainer and this is Rainier Books. Today is the 31st of August and we are 2 weeks away from the long list of the National Book Award. Actually from the long list of the National Book Award, because this is an award, as you probably know, that is not only a fiction award, it is also a non-fiction award, a young adult award, a poetry award, and I think, 4 different awards are handed out in the United States for the best books of the year. And the year that is covered by the National Book Award is the year from the 1st of December 2024 to the 30th of November in 2025. So we still have 2.5 months to go when the long list comes out, 4 books to be published that can be on the long list. I took a look at the books that are eligible for the National Book Award for fiction. They have a long list of 10 books, and I picked 10 books out of about 35 to 40 books that I looked at. And here are the 10 books that I predict will be on the long list of the National Book Award for fiction in the United States in 2 weeks to come. Number 1 is The Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong. Ocean Vuong is a very famous poet in the United States, a very talented young poet. He has written a novel called On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous a few years back, which was his debut novel. Now he is back with another novel about a young man named Hai, 19-year-old boy named Hai, who wants to commit suicide. He wants to jump from a bridge in a town called Gladness, Connecticut. But Grozina, an elderly widow who's succumbing to dementia, convinces him to take another path, to stop, to live on. This unlikely pair develops a bond that will change their lives. A brave epic about what it means to exist on the fringes of society and to reckon with the wounds that haunt our collective soul. I have ordered this book from the library. It will arrive soon and I can't wait to read it. Number 2, which I predict is on the long list of the National Book Award, is Audition by Katie Kitamura. I read that book a few weeks back. This is about a woman, an actress. She's in her late 40s. She meets a young man in a restaurant in New York. The reader has to find out what kind of relationship this woman has to the man. In the beginning, he says that she is his mother, but she says, "No, I'm not your mother." And in the second part of the book, she is his mother. And this is really weird because it plays with our imagination, it plays with what we read, what we perceive as true, and how much we do believe in narrators who tell us things. I didn't like that book too much because it was, as I said in my review, a play with more a brain kind of book, but it lacks a little bit of heart. The characters were kind of cold, but I think that Katie Kitamura has huge chances to end up on the long list of the National Book Award. Number 3 is Indian Country by Shobha Rao. This is a book about 2 people from India, Janavi and Sagar. They are forced together into an arranged marriage, which neither of them wants in India. Even worse, Sagar has already accepted a job in the United States in a strange place called Montana, where he will be in charge of dismantling a dam. He's an engineer. Montana upends all their expectations. Sagar's white colleagues do not welcome him with open arms, and Janavi finds herself unable to forgive her sister, who stayed behind in India, whose betrayal led her to this marriage and this strange place. A bold, ambitious, stunningly beautiful yet brutal novel about colonialism and the rippling ramifications still felt today. Indian Country is a tour de force, modern-day classic. The next author is probably known to many of you. It is Angela Flournoy, and her novel is called The Wilderness, about 5 women, Desiree, Danielle, January, Monique, and Nakia. They are all in their early 20s at the beginning of the novel, and of their careers of marriage, of motherhood, and of big city lives in New York and Los Angeles. This book is telling these stories. 5 women's lives between the early 2000s and our time, the 2020s, in a time of rapid changes and huge political upheaval, as we all know. Number 5 already is Heartwood by Amity Gage. I spoke about that book earlier. I'm really interested in getting that book. An experienced hiker mysteriously disappears on the Appalachian Trail in Maine. 42-year-old Valerie Gillis, who has vanished 200 miles from her final destination. Alone in the wilderness, Valerie pours her thoughts into fractured, poetic letters to her mother as she battles the elements and hopes and struggles to keep hoping. At the heart of the investigation is Beverly, the determined Maine State game warden tasked with finding Valerie, who leads the search on the ground. Meanwhile, we have a third female character, Lena, a 76-year-old birdwatcher in the Connecticut birdwatching retirement community, becomes an unexpected armchair detective. Roving between these compelling narratives, a puzzle emerges, intensifying the frantic search as Valerie's disappearance may not be accidental. Softcore by Brittany Newell. Ruth is a strip dancer nicknamed Baby Blue, seductress of crypto bros, outcasts, and old lovers alike. Plunged into the swirling underworld of beautiful women, fast cash, ungodly hours, and stranger secrets, Baby's grip on reality begins to loosen. She's sure she can handle it until one autumn morning when Dino disappears without a trace. Thus begins a nocturnal quest for the one she still loves, through the misty hills of San Francisco and bus depots at the BDSM dungeon where she takes a part-time gig. Softcore is an ode to the heartbroken and unhinged, to those whose appetites lead them astray. It is a hallucinogenic romp about a girl coming undone whose longing for friendship, romance, and revenge will take her over the edge and back again. This sounds like a very interesting, colorful novel. Vera or Faith by Gary Steinegard. The Bradford Schmolken family is fallen apart. It's a very modern blend of Russian, Jewish, Korean, and New England WASP. They love one another deeply, but the pressures of life in an unstable America are fraying their bonds. There's Daddy, a struggling, cash-thirsty editor whose Russian heritage gives him a surprising new currency in the upside-down world of 21st century geopolitics. His wife, Ann Mom, a progressive, underfunded blue blood from Boston, Massachusetts, who's barely holding the household together. And their son, Dylan, whose blonde hair and Mayflower lineage proved him pride of place in the newly forming American political order. And above all, the young Vera, half Jewish, half Korean, and wholly original. This is described as a boldly imagined story of family and country told through the clear and tender eyes of a child, with a nod to What Maisie Knew, Henry James. Henry James's classic story of parents, children, and the dark ironies of a rapidly transforming society. Playworld by Adam Ross. In the fall of 1980, when I was 14, a friend of my parents named Naomi Shah fell in love with me. She was 36, a mother of two, and married to a wealthy man. Like so many things that happened to me that year, it didn't seem strange at the time. Griffin Hurt is in over his head. Between his role as Peter Proton on the hit TV show The Nuclear Family and the pressures of high school at New York's elite Boyd Prep, along with the increasingly compromising demands of his wrestling coach, he's teetering on the edge of collapse. Then comes Naomi Shah, 22 years Griffin Sr., unwilling to lay his burdens on his shrink, whom he shares with his father, mother, and younger brother, Orrin. Griffin soon finds himself on the back of Naomi's Mercedes sedan, again and again, confessing all to the one person who might do him the most harm. Exit Stories by Marie-Helene Bertino. 12 stories are in this book called Exit Zero. Vampires, ghost girls, fathers, blank spaces, day-old peaches, and famous paintings all pierce through their world into ours, reminding us to pay attention and look alive, and offering many other flashes of wisdom from the oracle and author of Beautyland, Marie-Helene Bertino. The final book in my collection, my prediction video of 10 books for the National Book Award, is Ginkgo Season by Naomi Xu Elegant. Penelope Lynn spends her days cataloging a museum's vast collection of Qing Dynasty bound-foot shoes in the comfortable company of close friends. One day she happens to meet Huang, who confesses to releasing mice from the cancer research lab where he works. Huang's openness catches Penelope off guard. From then on, she finds her carefully constructed life slowly starting to unravel. Told in Penelope's witty, vulnerable, and thoroughly endearing voice, Ginkgo Season captures 3 seasons of reawakening, challenges, and transformation. The wise and tender-hearted novel explores the nature of our deepest friendships as seriously as it does the dizzying terror and thrill of falling in love and the complications of trying to live a life that matches your ideals. So these were my 10 books, and I actually picked them by the help of AI, by the help of the internet. No, not by the help of AI, by the help of a generator who picked 10 out of 35 for me. But there are many more books that might really end up on the long list. Maybe I got all these 10 right. It's possible, but it's not very likely, right? So now, and finally, all the books that might also appear on the long list of the National Book Award. I just mentioned the titles and the names of the authors, and you tell me who you think will make it on the long list of the National Book Award for Fiction in the United States in 2 weeks to come. Shadow Ticket by Thomas Pynchon will be published first on October 7. The Loneliness of Sonia and Sunny by Kiran Desai will be published on September the 23rd. Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor. Isola or Isola by Allegra Goodman. 3 Days in June by Ann Tyler. Crush by Ada Calhoun. Antidote by Karen Russell. Stag Dance by Tori Peters. Stop Me If You've Heard This One by Kristen Arnett. The Float Test by Lynn Steger Strong. Fish Tales by Natty Jones. What Will People Think by Sarah Hanadan. Flashlight by Susan Choi. Great Black Hope by Rob Franklin. Buck Hollow by Michelle Hunevan. Maggie or A Man and a Woman Walk Into a Bar by Katie Yee. Lonely Crowds by Stephanie Wambugu. Flash Out by Alexis Solowski. People Like Us by Jason Mott. Seduction Theory by Emily Adrian. Dominion by Addie E. Sitchins. Wanting by Claire Gia. Dull Parts by Penny Zhang. And Heart the Lover by Lily King. These are the titles that might make it on the long list. Tell me everything about your list down below in the comments. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you soon in another one. Have a great Sunday.